This is a follow-up of a story I did a while ago, and at least it has a happy ending. I'm going to let the story run, and then let the guests make their commentary. Then I'll probably make a brief one myself.
Folks, to follow up to the teenager charged with a felony for using a counterfeit bill to buy lunch in a suburban Houston school. The charges have now been dropped. Earlier this month, we told you about 15-year-old Alec Hunter. A&B student was charged last year with felony counterfeiting charges when he found a $10 bill and tried to buy a ham sandwich at school. He was offered a plea deal where he would go to counseling, but he had to plead guilty. Alex and his father refused. Since then, the Fort Bend County DA announced the charges will be dismissed after review of the evidence. $10 ham sandwich.
Never should have happened. This is one of those many cases that we keep seeing where it's just ridiculous that anyone at all is charged. And we keep seeing these kind of cases where students who are just living their lives, usually, interestingly, outstanding students, the A and B students, who end up in this kind of trouble. Why do we think it's always the good students, the high-performing scholastic students?
Well, I don't have a problem with the fact that he did pass a counterfeit bill. And so the fact that, law enforcement got involved, I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. A $10 bill found on the floor in school, law enforcement got involved. It takes a year. Overkill.
Yeah, definitely.
Overkill.
But the system worked, he's exonerated, everything.
But after all this...
They investigated that he did pass the counterfeit bill.
No, not after all that headache. That was unnecessary.
National media worked.
Absolutely.
That's what worked.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank God that the kid had the charges dismissed. It only cost him about $10,000 to $15,000 in legal fees to do so. And that was money that should not have been spent. Okay, that was number one. Number two, who dropped the counterfeit $10,000, the counterfeit $10 bill? There was no investigation here to see who actually dropped that bill. Now, the interesting thing about this is that lunchroom where that bill was dropped had video cameras. But magically, the video of that bill being dropped and him picking up the bill has disappeared. Well, let me back up. They changed their video recording company, quote unquote, and the prior company could not locate the video that they took involving this case. Okay. Now, number three. This is a kid. Yes, he unknowingly, and ignorance, quote unquote, is no excuse under the law, but he unknowingly tried to use a $10 bill to get a ham sandwich. That, to me, is not passing a counterfeit $10 bill, okay? When the bill was discovered, and they know they have a problem because how many schools actually utilize those pens on $10 bills? I wonder if they utilize, obviously you see them utilized on 20s, but 10s, I wonder if they utilize them on 5s or 1s. Okay, but that being said, once the bill was discovered, yes, the principal or deans or whatever should have been called in. This student tried to pass this bill. It's a phony. Principal asked the kid, where'd you get the bill? Found it on the floor. At that point in time, the video was available. They could have reviewed the video, seen that the kid walked in, the bill's on the floor, picked it up, went to use it. Okay, case should have been closed at that point. No, they decided to call in law enforcement. Why? Why were they trying to ruin this kid's life? This was, by all accounts, a good kid, never been in trouble, getting good grades. Now, I wonder if they had done the same thing on a gangbanger. And the answer probably is no, because once they called the cops in on the gangbanger, they would have been fearful of retribution for calling the cops in on that gangbanger. So Anyway, thank God that this whole situation is going to have a happy legal ending, if not financial ending, for the family.